What's going on, guys? Looking at pound Japanese yen right now. Pretty simple sell model. We have a high here, Monday's high, that we formed early into the Asian session on Monday. We've just rocketed through that high, taken out the liquidity resting above it, so the sellers, their stop losses have been taken. Now we're having a breakout, which means we're attracting buyers and we're building up essentially buys in the market. This means their stop losses are going to be placed down here, if they're really down here or down here. So these buyers that are currently buying on the breakout are going to be able to provide us liquidity later down the line. What I am looking to happen is early into the New York session, us to come to the downside, we confirm a deviation of this zone, and we fail to get back above the 199.350 area. If this type of price action takes place, then I'll be more than happy to execute sells. The two primary targets I have is this volume imbalance at 198.550, that's 80 pips, and my primary target is this big gap that we made on Sunday crossover, which is just in conjunction with the liquidity below Monday's low, and that will be at about 197.650 for 170 pips. So about 3.4 risk to reward trade. What we're going to need to see is weakness, momentum to go towards the downside from here, us to get below the 199.350, and then we can use the moving averages and some other form of indicators to guide us in our entry. But for the time being, this is the model that I'm currently monitoring. Once price gets below this Monday's high, then I'll probably make another video, another update, and I'll let you know my thoughts and how I plan to execute the trade. Cheers, guys. Alright, hello. Looking at pound yen again. So I suggested yesterday midday that we will look for the deviation, look to take some sells. I executed the sells in yesterday's New York. It was a bit of an early sell, so I kind of made you aware later into the session, in early just before Asia, that we want to hold this position. It's still very likely. We expected a violent downside move throughout Asia and London, and that's exactly what we got. What we've done so far, we hit our take profit 1, our target 1 for 80 pips, 1.6R. We've just taken half of the position for plus 0.8R, and we moved our stops to break even. We're already up significantly on the week. We're pushing 5% as it stands, which is really, really nice. So we don't need to carry too much risk for unnecessary reasons. What I'm going to go through now, however, is how I see the chart playing out and how this position should look to develop. Based off this violent downside move, based off the fact that we took out all the liquidity above Monday's high, I believe a move to below Monday's low, the liquidity resting below it, the volume imbalance, the lack of volume that rests below it, I think it's imminent that we're going to move into this zone, so I really want to maintain exposure. In terms of how I think we're going to get there, there's two scenarios. Either momentum continues the way that it has been going, we just continue straight to the downside, happy days, we take our full profit, plus 3.4 RR, 170 pips. It's very, very nice. The more likely scenario is that what we have is a retest into this fair value gap, this volume imbalance, and we have this early into the New York session. That will also line up with our moving averages, at which point we can see a reversal, a move back to the downside, and again back into our main target, Monday's low and the liquidity resting below it. So you should have all banked some profit here on pound JPY. You should all be in some profit. You should have your stops at break even, and you should be looking for a Monday's low, 197.800 and below. That's the most likely target that we're going to see in the coming hours, coming sessions. So keep this position open. As and when things change and things evolve, I will provide an update in due time. Cheers, guys. Alright, guys, just a quick one here. Pound Japanese yen. We took the sells, deviated Monday's high, we ran to the downside throughout Asia and London as anticipated. We took some profits down here, as I suggested we should, and I also further suggested we'll have this retraced to the upside. Now we're filling this FVG at 198.800, and that's also in conjunction with our moving average cluster. At the same time, all while this is happening, we're seeing wicks to the upside, which is showing demand for sells, and we're showing this curved off formation, which is demonstrating a slowdown of momentum. So we're very happy to remain in GBPJPY sells for the time being. I think a move to this low that we formed in today's London session is essentially definite within today's New York, and a move to and below Monday's low is essentially imminent. It's essentially programmed. It's what I'm anticipating. So as it stands, you should have your partials taken. You should have your stops rolled to break even, and let this baby run all the way into Monday's low. If anything changes, maybe we just sweep the liquidity London's low, then I'll post an update as and when required. But for the time being, we remain on sells on pound yen. We're looking for this all the way into Monday's low. I'll update as things change. Cheers, guys. Alright, testing. Pound yen one more time. So we ultimately wanted the move into Monday's low, but we've reversed and we come to break even. Means that we've only banked 0.8R, just under 1R, 1%, so nothing to complain about. It's just a bit of a shame because Monday's low still looks so attractive. So this is how the position ends. We bank the 0.8R. It's the importance of running your stops. It's the rolling your stops. It's the importance of taking partials. I'm going to be looking for new opportunities and new ideas on the pound yen because I've got a couple of ideas materializing early into the New York session. I'll get back to you with an update in the coming minutes, if not hours, and we'll see how price progresses. But in terms of GBPJPY, we took partials, we banked 0.8R, we're still up about 5% for the week. Catch you shortly. Just reconciling on pound Japanese yen. We took the sells, we were into major profit, and we've returned to break even. I did suggest in the video that the Monday's lows were still super attractive, and I thought we'd have that move to the downside. Indeed, we have. The only difference is we took out these stop losses right here from Tuesday's highs before doing so. It's something I could have anticipated, but did not. So the bias was correct. We still banked profit regardless. And I just essentially want to make a little update letting you know that this gap has been filled, Monday's low has been filled, and if we can get back above Monday's low, show some strength early into the New York session, then we can look for some buys on GBPJPY. That's all for the time being. Anything else I'm going to add on pound yen is going to be a new update, a new thesis, a new idea, and we'll get into it as and when the idea presents itself. 170 pip target bias completely come through. We made about 1% or 1R. All in all, happy with the trade. We'll move on to new opportunities during New York. Cheers, guys.